Welcome to another episode of Just Some Points. Glad to have Catherine with us today. Excited about that. And with that, we don't waste any much time today. We'll dive right into it. And Melissa, why don't you get us started today? What do you have?
Sure. So today I'm actually going to talk about a new feature for Google search results that's in beta right now, but they plan to roll it out very quickly and very soon. Basically, what Google is trying to do on their search results pages is be extremely transparent about the sources that they are providing you in the search results pages. So they actually instituted a new menu on every single search query, where you can click on the menu of the result and it'll give you more information about the link you're about to click on. So I actually tested it out with Points Group, and it gives you information like the Points Group website was first indexed by Google 10 years ago. It tells you that the website is secure. It gives you a little blurb about the business as well, which I believe is being pulled by like the schema markup or the metadata of the link that you're trying to click
Wow.
on.
Where is that information? Is there a link next to the...
It's the classic like 3-dot menu,
Oh, okay.
and it's on every single search result on the search results page. And I tested it, same thing with LinkedIn. It tells you when LinkedIn was indexed. It tells you it's secure. It tells you what LinkedIn is. And this is a trend that we started seeing, especially on social media last year. Facebook did the same thing with the articles that are being shared. Instagram, Twitter, they all started flagging and giving you a little bit more information before you start clicking on that link. And I think knowing that Google is now getting involved and Google is also doing this, that it's important to know that it's here to stay. The need for transparency isn't just because of this past election cycle or because of misinformation about COVID. This is for the user's benefit, because this could really help someone understand what they're about to click on, making sure that it's accurate and it's a credible source, and that it's not, some spam website that's going to give you a virus or anything like that. So I think this is actually a really, really good step. And I think that it's actually just the beginning of platforms telling you what information they're giving you.
I'm excited about that. I didn't know about this, but it really puts transparency in everything. And also, in behalf of our clients, we do a lot of honest, hard work, creating content and, making sure that our clients and our website are being seen. And we do it, just a good old fashioned, honest way, and I think this will help companies that really try to create good websites and put good valuable content forward and help users. So I'm excited about that. That's really very interesting.
Yeah.
So Catherine, why don't you follow up on that and tell us something new?
Yes, so I'm actually going to talk about search results, but on social media channels. So a lot of times when people think of SEO, they automatically jump to how well is your website ranking on Google or Bing searches. But the same concept does apply across social media channels. Sorry if you can hear the dog barking.
It's okay.
But for Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube is actually the second largest search engine next to Google. So a lot of people kind of overthink this step, but it is actually very important that your profiles and what you post is relevant and an accurate representation of your business. So if people do stumble upon it as they're searching through Facebook or LinkedIn, they can come back to your business, follow your pages, go to your website, and interact with your posts. So there's different things that you can do to kind of help your posts rank in the searches on the channels. So the first thing, you want to make sure that your profiles are properly branded, so that if somebody's searching just for, like, for example, we would come up for a digital marketing, Points Group would. So obviously there's other profiles about this topic. So you just want to make sure that your profile is properly branded so that you'll stand out against anybody else that might come up if somebody were to search marketing. And then it's also very important that you utilize hashtags and relevant hashtags, sorry. Because
Do you
people
use the
do
hashtags in your profiles as well, or just in your postings?
primarily just in the postings, just because so many new posts come out every day that if it's in your profile, it'll be get just pushed to
Right.
the bottom of the hashtag feed. Yeah, so you just want to make sure that the hashtags that you use are relevant about your brand, about whatever topic you're posting about, because it is a great way to drive more traffic to your profile. And then also just make sure that you're posting regularly and you're up to date on the latest trends and hashtags and things like that. Because if hashtag is trending, that's about your service or company or whatever, you want to make sure that you're in there as well to drive that traffic.
That's interesting. So I'm a heavy user of YouTube, and I use it extensively for researching, related to, the stuff related to, hobbies primarily that I have, and
Mhm.
um, I always assumed, most of the things that influence the ranking of things the most is, quite frankly, how popular a video is, but it seems that it's not the case. You're saying that there are other things you can do. Do you have more information on YouTube specifically of things you really should do or you can do to improve?
Not specific to YouTube, but the same concept as SEO for websites apply. So you'll want to have keywords in your titles and your descriptions of your
Yeah.
YouTube. And then obviously, the more views and things that the YouTube's, like you mentioned, the more active the video is, it is more likely to perform, just like
But
the
it's basically
websites.
basically it's not just good enough to put a video out there, but we pay real attention to what you put underneath the video.
Yes, so you'll want to make sure that the keywords that people will be searching for are in your title and description, because it'll help your videos show
Right.
up more.
The other thing I've been seeing a lot, and of the heavy contributors on YouTube, and I like that actually when they cross-link to other useful videos related to the topic. So that's another thing. I think
Mhm.
if somebody is really putting a lot of YouTube content out there, make sure that you cross-link a lot of the stuff that you do and that you talk
Absolutely.
about. So, okay, very good. Thanks a lot. That was interesting. What I want to talk about today is marketing with memes. They are definitely, native to social media platforms now. They are, usually funny, entertaining, and easy to consume. And what we do mostly healthcare, marketing in healthcare, where it has not been as much seen in healthcare. But I personally find I think it's necessary that healthcare is also becoming a little bit more progressive, and some companies in healthcare actually do become more progressive and do things, push the envelope a little bit more, and as it relates to how they present their brand. And I think memes they're here to stay. They will continue to be used heavily, and more brands are really trying to make that part of their integral part of their marketing strategy. But there are a few things you should know. We should take into account thinking about memes and if you want to use them. Um, Memes are just another form of content, and we talked a lot about conscious content last year in a few episodes. So know your audience, just like with everything else you're writing. Memes are the same. Make sure that you're clear on what you want to communicate or how you communicate it and to who. In healthcare, depending on say if you're cardiology practice, you talk to a different audience than, let's say, a plastic surgeon for most part. So just be aware of those things, but it shouldn't stop you. The fact that, let's say, if you have primarily an older population as your patient base, it shouldn't stop you not using from using memes. Add originality to your memes. Don't just copy something or um, forward something that somebody else has used, and use humor. That's the whole point of memes, and understand what the memes should imply and how you connect them to your brand and to your products. But be brave enough to push it a little bit and try to be funny. And then also, I think the more successful memes are current. they are related to something that's trending. I would say the really successful memes of brands are things that they might have happened in the last half hour, in the last half day, or in the last day or 2 days. Meaning it's very much focused on the now, not 5 weeks ago.
Mhm.
And I think that's certainly more challenging for companies that are not so entrenched in social media, but it's something that you really should try to accomplish with memes. It doesn't mean you have to be current. There are plenty of examples of great campaigns from brands that were not necessarily current, but they were funny and really good and successful. The other thing you should, and especially as it relates to being jumping on something trending or current, is there's a new actually word for it. It's meme checking, meaning you take a meme that's currently trending and you create your own spin and variation on it and push it out. You have a very high likelihood of getting more eyes on the product if you do those things, because people are focused on those things and people actually search for it, and specifically for those things. So meme checking is perfectly fine you doing and incorporating that in your strategy. And then overall, don't overthink it, but also don't overuse them. Meaning don't just push out a meme every day and try to be funny. It looks like too much, like you're trying too hard, but make it part of your overall strategy. I'm it's like we within our family, we are in our text group. A lot of times, my kids, they use memes sometimes to convey something. It's really funny. I like it.
Mhm. Yeah, I think it's a really good communication tool. And I would also say that you can receive a lot of really high engagement with memes, because once you post memes, people are inclined to share other memes that are similar, or you get some good, reactions from your customers or your users. So I would say that it's definitely a really engagement driven form of communication.
Absolutely. And it also ties into the SEO side of social media, where if you're like adapting the current memes, people search for the latest trends in memes. So you'll also show up in all those searches as well.
Mhm.
That's right. That's right. Okay, great. I think that concludes another episode of Just Some Points. Thanks, Catherine and Melissa. See you next week. Bye.